What's good, YouTube? It's your main man, AB the Hero, back again with another video. Today's video, we got a good one because the body language never lies, and we're going to analyze the body language during the incident between Juwan Howard, head coach of Michigan basketball, and Gard, head coach of Wisconsin Badgers basketball, and we're going to break down not only the incident and what really happened, but a lot of the body language that these two displayed during the post-game press conference. We're gonna see if there's some deception there, if folks feel remorseful, shame, all of that stuff. We're gonna take a look at everything. Let's get into it.
AB the Hero, back at it, baby.
First off, I want to thank everybody who slammed the like button, but this is a good one, so we're getting straight into it. All right, we got Juwan Howard sitting here. Let me headphone up here. Sitting here after the post-game press conference. We got a few different clips we're gonna look at, because if you go through just on the internet, some folks got the whole thing, pieces and parts, but we got the important stuff lined up here, so let's just get straight into this.
Juwan, back to you, right? You got me. Were you upset that the game got extended?
Oh yes, I was. You know, I didn't like the timeout being called. I'll be totally honest with you. I thought it was.
All right, so first things first. We look at Juwan Howard, and when the clip comes up, he's kind of relaxed, right? He's sitting back in the chair, waiting on questions to go. He's fiddling with the mic cord right there. Right, that's just typical, like, all right, let's get this thing going. The answer, asks the question, he sits up immediately.
Oh yes, I was. You know,
Head shake, yes, I was. That's accurate. Didn't like it. But then we start to see hands go underneath the table, right? And if you can look, you see a lot of fidgeting happen underneath the table. That's him rubbing his legs. These are called personal gestures, right? This is a high tension situation. So typically what people do is when you're in these moments, you do little things to kind of soothe yourself, right? As you're talking about it and going through all of that stuff, you pat your legs a bit, you scratch your, you know what I mean? Just little things like that. It doesn't necessarily mean that I'm saying something deceptive right now, but we can tell that this situation currently makes me uncomfortable.
I thought it was, you know, not necessary at that moment, especially being a large lead, and then for to have the timeout.
Right, if you look, he's scratching his ankles down here.
He called with 3 seconds, 4 seconds to go. You know, I thought that was, you know, what I felt wasn't fair to our guys, and so that's what happened.
So here you go, right? So basically what happened is at the end of the game there, he was, they called a timeout with 4 seconds left. He didn't like it. He felt like he was taking a shot at it. Coach was taking a shot at him. Now, here's the interesting part, because we're going to find out right now, or here in a second, why he thinks that the coach is taking a shot at them, right? Because oftentimes, right, you know what I'm saying, petty begets petty. So there's something petty happening here, and he's like, yo, I know what you were doing. Let's go.
Just a follow-up. If you wanted the game to get done, why keep the press on against Wisconsin's back?
So now, look at all of this. Now my man lips and shit getting dry.
Just a follow-up. If you wanted the game to get done.
This is the question I was hoping you wasn't going to answer. This is what this face is.
Against Wisconsin's backups at that point.
Oh, it wasn't a press. We was just 5 pressure defense.
My man says it wasn't a press. It was just pressure defense. Press is short for pressure. Okay? So my guy knows. He's smart. He knows we was pressing him, and he thought he was being slick, so he called a timeout to really, you know what I'm saying, jab me, because we were putting the press on still. All right, the other team had in there all of their subs and things. Off the bench, he still had some starters in, but they were playing full press, even though they were down by a lot with 30 seconds left to go in the game. They kept the press on the whole time.
Man to man, that's what 5 is for us.
Now, here's quintessential. Ooh, I just smooth got caught. Damn, I'm ashamed. This is a lie. This here is I'm physically in front of you hiding. I don't look at me right now. This is what this is. All of a sudden, out of nowhere, I sit back thinking, and I would not be surprised if for him, this was an aha moment. Oh, shoot. That's why
Clear on the left. Juwan, you're straight in front of you.
you see that deep breath he just took there. Check it out here.
Clear on the left. Juwan, you're straight in front of you. What happens between being upset about a timeout being called and
Now, this is the interesting part here because I think this part here breaks down the sequence of events. Because while I do think that press was the initiator of things, here is where we get to see how do you go from I was upset about a timeout to I damn near slapped somebody. Watch this.
raising it to a point where it looked like you hit another coach in the face? What kind of happens in between to make that happen?
Well, basically, I addressed with the head coach that I will remember that because of that timeout, and for someone to touch me, and I think that was very uncalled for him to touch me.
So he's saying I told him, okay, so there's a chain of events here that happened. I told him I'm going to remember that timeout. I'm going to remember that. And he touched me. I think in a lot of the conversation around this incident, the one thing that you're not going to hear a lot of people continue to talk about or address is the he touched me part. That's going to get skipped over.
As we were verbalizing and communicating with one another.
My man said verbalizing and communicating. Okay.
So that's what ended up happening. And that's what escalated it.
He wanted to make sure that he got that escalation in the mic very clearly.
That's what ended up happening.
Now, here's where we can go, right? If you're just looking at body language and you're looking at the different postures that my man has, right? We talked about earlier, he was kind of relaxed, had his hand on the mic. He went to hands underneath the table, fidgeting, personal gestures, touching on himself, okay? Not touching, I'm sorry, pause. Just massaging his legs and things.
We were verbalizing and communicating.
He's standing here, chest wide open. I'm telling y'all what happened. Here it is. I'm putting it all on the line. This is,
So that's what ended up happening.
Now we go back to defensive posture. All right, hands crossed. Now I'm back on the defense.
And that's what escalated it.
Right here.
Yeah, I guess if you could, expand on that a little more. What?
No, I would not expand on it. I just share with you the story.
So once again, right, I said defensive posture. The next question gets asked and his answer is completely defensive. No, I already explained to you what happened. I'm not doing it again. Now he's going to double back and actually answer this question and watch his posture change as he answers it.
Well, as far as touching, it's obvious touching with the handshake line there. It must have been more than that.
Oh yeah, it was more than that. Yeah. Touching me unnecessary with it.
Bam. All right. Oh, yeah. There's more than that. Touching me. So now here's the thing. I talk about this in every time we do these. There's a difference between the fidgeting or personal gestures and the fidgeting or acting out the expressing what's happening, right? He's touching me. Oh, yeah. But now we're back to that open. I'm getting vulnerable with y'all again. Posture that he had here. He even is like, you can see him remembering what happened in this moment, right? You feel like he's looking past everybody in the room and he's looking at that moment right now in his head.
Wasn't cause for that when we were talking.
We're talking.
At that point, I thought that was, time to protect myself.
Now, that's an interesting statement. At that point, I thought it was time to protect myself. Here's what I'm saying to you. You find yourself in a situation where, okay, I was being petty. I had to press on. We were losing. Whatever. You call a timeout responding to my petty. After the game, what ends up happening is Juwan Howard doesn't jump right in the handshake line. He's hanging back. But then he gets into the line, and as he goes by the coach, he continues the petty. Pulls his mask a bit. Hey, I'm going to remember that. You want to be petty? Watch how petty I can be. Tries to walk by. there's some touching that's happening. We don't know to the extent. We have not watched the clip yet. We will watch part of it. The touching happens. And then he says, now I felt like I needed to protect myself. Everybody's going to overlook that. Everybody is going to say, oh, you can't be upset about a timeout. Nobody's going to talk about the fact that somebody touched me. We haven't looked at how. And then I felt like I needed to protect myself. We hear that a lot. We hear folks all across the nation in very difficult jobs say, I needed to protect myself. I was scared for a second. Do you think Juwan Howard was scared? Let's keep going. All right, now we have Gard here. He's about to break down from his perspective what happened here. See if you hear anything different than what Juwan had said, and then we'll look at his body language here.
And later after some of the players.
Okay, so remember what I told y'all. You've got what we would call all right, arms are crossed here. He's basically holding himself up by his arms, right? So this is defensive posture, you know what I mean? But like I said, sometimes you need to hold yourself. This is all things that help you release tension in high stressful, high tense moments, right? This is what we're seeing from him right now. Let me take it back just a second. All right, so
That was, time to protect myself.
Came in later after some of the players and was going down the line with everybody. They were all fine. And he came up to me and pulled his max down and said, I'll remember that. And he started pointing at me.
Okay, so he's saying, pulled his mask down, said, I remember that, started pointing at him. Remember this.
And he came up to me and pulled his max down and said, I'll remember that. And he started pointing at me and tapped me in the chest. And I said, hold on.
Now, here's the interesting tidbit here, right? We talked about, right, there's a difference when my man is here. Now he's explaining it. Now you starting to see him get animated. Tap me, pulled his mask down. I said, hold on. Like all of these things, based on that, I would be shocked if at some point Juwan Howard didn't do that to him. I would be shocked if at some point Juwan Howard didn't pull his mask down. I believe that he's telling the truth here. Now, what we can see from body language is there's some deception, right? Because oftentimes there's truth and then there's some things that are omitted. There's lies that are told. So let's keep going.
Hold on. Let me explain to you why I took the timeout. Maybe he doesn't know the rule.
So he's saying, all right,
I said, I'll remember that. And he started pointing at me and tapped me in the chest. And I said, hold on.
I said, hold on. Let me explain this to you.
Explain to you why I took the timeout. Maybe he doesn't know the rule that you get the 10 seconds reset. I wasn't going to put my players in that type of situation to have to break a press in 4 seconds, come and stiff and cold off the bench. I wouldn't do that for a regular group.
Now, here's the interesting part here is we have a lot of animated gestures, you know what I mean, explaining what's happening. And then now we start to tug back away. All right.
I can take a timeout. That's, it gives my players the best chance to have success. So that,
to me, I would not believe that's why he took the timeout. Based on what we've seen him and how he's talked and recalled all of this stuff. Now, obviously this is different, right? There's him explaining what's happening, then you get the descriptor and then the animated movements, and then now he's talking about hypothetically, but I don't know if in this situation that's 1,000%.
that's where it started. He said, I'll remember that. And I said, hey, let me tell you why I did what I did. And he didn't want me to go to that and kept moving on. So that's unfortunate. Like I said, it overshadowed momentarily.
All right. Now, here's the moment of truth. We have two coaches. They've given two sides of the same story, right? There's pieces to this that are obviously they happen, right? He said, I will remember that. Juwan Howard says, I will remember that. So we know that happened, right? Juwan Howard says that he touched me. He says, not at no point does he say I touched him or anything. I just said, whoa, hold up. I was just let me talk to you for a second. Let me keep talking. Juwan Howard says, we were communicating, verbalizing. There was no need for him to put his hands on me because I felt like I had to protect myself. Now, we go to the situation. I'm going to play this with the sound off, right? Just because, you know what I'm saying, we're going to try our hardest to not get any, you know what I mean, copyright issues with this video. But let's check it out here. All right, so your man, Gard, is going down the line, shaking hands. All right, Juwan Howard pops up. We got a handshake. If we went all the way back, you see the players go by first, and then I believe there's Michigan coaches, and then Juwan Howard comes up here. All right. All right, there goes something. Never mind. All right, there. Now we see Juwan Howard, mask pulled away from his face, not even making eye contact. Right. My mask is away. I pulled it down. I said what I said to you. I will remember that. Okay. And then he's trying to walk by him. Now, instantly, what happens here? We got our coach here, grabs Juwan by the arm, stops him, and then repositions himself into his face. Okay, let's go back. All right, Juwan says what he says. He's walking by, no contact. Whoa, he stops him, gets into his face, and then begins to start talking to him. Right. This is what initiated the preceding the next altercations. Okay, it wasn't the timeouts. It was this moment here. Put his hands on me, is in my face, yelling at me. He looks like he's yelling, right? If we look here, head back, mouth wide open, saying something to me. All right, what's going on here? Juwan puts his hand on his chest, still talking to him, grabs him. Yo, boy, get the coach like, hold up. I'm in a situation now. It's trying to get away. They still talking. Now, officially, you get the point. So according to our coach here, he came by pointing into his face, and then that's when he tried to stop him. That's not quite what happened. He held him up. He grabbed him up a bit, let him go. Damn, I'm tripping. Now, boy, if you don't get your into him, all right. Juwan, now the mask fully comes off. Because now I'm really talking to you. Here's the thing. This part of the conversation from both of these guys, we don't know what was being said. Everybody left this part out, right? But this is where the thing escalated, okay? In this moment here, the touch, hands on you, I'm constricting your movement. You were just walking by me. You ain't finna do it. Now it's altercations. Here's something that I will say that's interesting to me. From this image right here, I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Michigan players and the head coach. On the other clip, I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, all this damn staff from well, let me say this guy right here with the you know what I'm saying, with the receding hairline here, he might be a Michigan guy based on his jacket here. So that might be something, right? Because he's long sleeve. All of these Wisconsin dudes are short sleeve. However, even if we go through here, it just takes a long time for the Michigan staff to show up in the situation. This is what sucks about this, is now you have the players in the middle of it with coaches trying to defend their own head coach. So in the midst of this, something is going on. He's pushing players back. So now you got the coach who's now even more pissed off because you're touching my players. Boy, let me put these hands on you. And that's where the situation is, folks. Unfortunate events during this game here. But as they say, it is what it is, man. Body language don't lie. Your main man, AB the Hero. Make sure y'all subscribe to the channel for more. Let's go.
Be the hero. No, not peace. Plus one. Triple B's. We out.